Mississippi Power.
Hello, good morning, everybody. We've got a cool start this morning. Upper level clouds are moving across the area. Non-rain producers. We're going to continue to find rain-free through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and unfortunately the weekend will bring showers and thunderstorms once again. This is the forecast for WXXV News 25. 6 a.m. starts right now.
Coming up on WXXV News 25 today, 2 people are dead and a sheriff's deputy is injured after a deputy-involved shooting at Dollar General in Perkinston Sunday night. More details straight ahead. And I'll have a preview of who's going to be on the ballot for tomorrow's primary elections here in Mississippi. And in this week's edition of Megan Monday, Megan introduces you to the founding member of the McKinney Volunteer Fire Department.
Live right now. WXXV News 25.
Good morning, South Mississippi, and thank you for joining us for our 6 o'clock hour at WXXV News 25 today as we start a new week and as we've spring forward.
Yeah, beautiful thing, man. You know, love the sun setting later. Of course, we're gaining daylight, but the big move was daylight saving time this past weekend.
And last night it didn't come as much of a shock to me, you know.
It never comes as a shock to me. Look, when you get 5 hours sleep a night, nothing matters. You know, as far as the time change, jumping forward and swinging back and all that. I do not like it, I'll say that much. And, you know, and I hate bringing this back up because I've got to talk to my congressman about it. No, they promised it in 2020.
Yeah.
They blatantly said, look, we're going to do away with this antiquated thing that is no longer practical. And in 2023, once we spring forward, that's going to be it. That was a year ago. We're still going back and forth, and it's no longer, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you needed it 100 years ago when the farmers needed light a little bit earlier in the morning, but everybody's got big equipment with huge lights nowadays, so it's unnecessary.
I agree there.
Not to mention, man, the seasonal depression thing. A lot of people in the wintertime, when the sun sets at 5 o'clock, you know, people get into that depression. So I wish they'd do away with it.
Yeah, hopefully some action is taken in the next few years or so, sooner than that, hopefully. Well, hey, it's time also now to reveal the view of the week for our This Is the Place photo contest, sponsored by Harris Gulf Coast. Deborah Hodges in Lucedale submitted this one. It's called Sunset on the Pascagoula River. Great colors, as always. And I love that we have a river shot, too, Rob.
Yeah, that's nice. Love the colors along the horizon.
Yeah, the trees provide a nice little silhouette there as well. If you'd like to submit your best landscape photos for the Harris Gulf Coast Photo Contest for a chance to win $200 in gift cards from Harris Gulf Coast in our quarterly drawing, just go now to WXXV25.com/photo contest or use the free WXXV News 25 app to enter. And from this to another friendly reminder, you can go to our WXXV Facebook page right now to add to the list of where you're watching us from on the pinned post at the top there for our Hometown Hellos series. You know, we love when new viewers comment, so we'll get some shout outs in the 6:30 half hour.
Yeah, we had one from Texas earlier. And if I remember correctly, didn't we have one from like overseas, Germany or something like that?
We've had one from Germany, I think from one of the Eastern European countries.
Yeah, I want to say it was just like Thursday or Friday of last week or something like that.
You never know where you're going to get a hello from, so it makes it interesting.
Last week this time, it was really, really bright, right?
Yeah.
This morning, it is really, really dark. Sunrise is not until after 7 o'clock, which is a good thing. This morning, we have a lot of cloud coverage overhead. Mostly cloudy skies at this point in time, but dominantly through today, we're going to find partly cloudy. At times, the clouds will compound above and below each other, providing us under mostly cloudy. High pressure to the north shaping the forecast here in South Mississippi. It's a few degrees cooler than 24 hours ago. Pearl River County is a little bit warmer. Backyard Paradise Pools hometown forecast spotlighting the Latimer community. Your high temperature will max out at 67 degrees. This morning, winds out of the east becoming southerly this afternoon. That's a humid flow from the Gulf of Mexico at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The extended forecast through the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
We are going to go quickly to a look at traffic conditions as we start this hour with you. This is Highway 57 at the intersection of Highway 90. Things are quiet there so far between Ocean Springs and Gaucher. We also begin the morning with a developing story out of Stone County. 2 people are dead and a sheriff's deputy is injured after a deputy-involved shooting at a Dollar General in Perkinston Sunday evening. According to the Mississippi Department of Public Safety, a Stone County Sheriff's deputy responded to a domestic violence call at that store located just off of Highway 49. A subject fired a gun at a deputy, striking the deputy in the arm. That deputy then returned fire. DPS officials say the subject that opened fire on the deputy is believed to have died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound during the incident. A woman believed to be connected to the subject was also found dead at the scene. As with all officer or deputy-involved shootings in Mississippi, MBI is taking the lead on this investigation. We'll continue to bring you updates as we learn new details in this case. Also happening over the weekend, 2 Loosedale men are now behind bars in Jackson County, charged in the shooting death of another man Saturday night. 21-year-old Charles Mason IV allegedly shot a rifle several times towards the crowd at County Line Bar on Highway 613. Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter says Richard Davis died at that scene after being shot in the chest. Shortly after the shooting, Mason left the bar in a vehicle driven by 22-year-old Jesse Holofield. Both suspects later surrendered to authorities without incident. Mason has been charged with first-degree murder, and Holofield is charged with accessory after the fact. The two are being held in the Jackson County Adult Detention Center without bond. Some sad news out of Ocean Springs. City leaders are mourning the loss of a former city alderman who died earlier this month. Thomas Reynolds died on March 1st at the age of 84. Reynolds served 2 terms as alderman and was a strong believer in the potential of Ocean Springs. He is survived by his wife Margaret, 2 sons, a stepson, and grandchildren. Well, we are just one day out from polls opening here in Mississippi for primary elections, and a list of federal races will be on the Republican and Democratic primary ballots. As you prepare to make your voice heard, let's dive into some of the races you'll see at the polls tomorrow. Of course, the presidential race tops the ballot. On the Republican side of things, Donald Trump will be the presumptive nominee after Nikki Haley dropped out of the race last week. Haley and a few other former Republican candidates will still be on the ballot, however. On the Democratic side, President Joe Biden heads that ballot and is set to be his party's nominee once again in his quest for a second term. Moving on to Mississippi's federal races, incumbent Senator Roger Wicker is seeking another term in the upper chamber. But first, he has to get through 2 Republican primary challengers in Gannon Burton and Dan Eubanks. Only one Democrat filed to run for this seat, so Ty Pinkins will stand alone on the Democratic Senate primary ballot. Here in South Mississippi, first-term Congressman Mike Ezell is seeking a second term, but faces a primary challenge from fellow Republicans Carl Boyenton and Michael McGill. Only one Democrat will appear on the 4th District ballot, that being Craig Raybon. Well, for some time here in the Magnolia State, voter turnout for tomorrow's elections will be top of mind. Voter turnout hit rock bottom during the 2022 midterms here in Mississippi. Since then, though, the state has seen a steady rise in active voters. Mississippi has historically had a low voter turnout compared to other states, but especially had a tough year in 2022 with only 30% of registered voters turning in a ballot. This came as a surprise to Secretary of State Michael Watson, who has launched multiple efforts to get people to the polls. There have been some encouraging signs in 2023 and so far in 2024, with 260,000 new registered voters. And Watson tells us he's noticed young people showing an interest in voting as well.
Again, I think what I'm excited about is when I go speak to these young people, they have got some great questions and are talking more about elections than they have in my past years in the state Senate now than they were then. So I'm excited to hear that, to hear their interest in elections and why it's important that they go vote. So maybe our next generation here is going to be the ones that kind of rescue us and return back great numbers to voting.
Despite the positive signs, the numbers are still looking low for the upcoming election, with only 15,000 absentee ballot requests. And a quick reminder, we will have full Election Day coverage here on WXXV News 25 tomorrow on all of our newscasts and digital platforms. You can head right now to our website, WXXV25.com, for more on what you need to know before heading to the polls. In other news, the 2024 homecoming celebration for graduates of Home of Grace was held over the weekend. This event highlights how Home of Grace has changed the lives of so many, and it provides an opportunity to thank the businesses and people in the community who support the cause. Home of Grace Development Director Lee Anderson was in attendance to see the graduates sing "How Great Is Our God."
I was actually a client at the Home of Grace 20 years ago, and we had homecoming while I was a client. It was so neat to see people who have come from the program and what they're doing now, and to see what my life has the potential to look like as well. It has lasting impacts, as it did on me, to our current clients and the role that they can play in their lives for the kingdom of Christ.
And also over the weekend, many families came out and had fun at the inaugural WXXV Spring Family Expo. Multiple vendors set up shop at Edgewater Mall Saturday. Attendees were able to learn more about beneficial family resources here on the coast. With Easter coming up as well, kids were able to enjoy fun with the Easter Bunny and take some photos.
We really pride ourselves on our involvement with the community here on the Gulf Coast, and so this year we're trying to do more things to help serve the community.
Well, about the autism program and the health program, just different things. It's pretty neat.
We just like to do community outreach and get our faces out there and get familiar. It's important for everyone to have be confident with themselves and enjoy smiling.
Fun that I'm having is walking around and seeing the things.
Oh, so cute, so cute, so
And WXXV would also like to thank its title sponsor, Sky Zone Trampoline Park, and its many other contributors. I know I had a lot of fun and met some great viewers out there Saturday. Before we head to break, it's time for our WXXV Votes Question of the Day, brought to you by Southern Properties United. The question is, if you have teenagers, do they have career goals right now at their age? So far, 67% of our respondents say yes. That's a great sign. You can vote by going to our website, WXXV25.com. Click on the WXXV vote link in the news drop-down menu, or use the QR code on the screen. WXXV's Birthday Club shout-outs are coming up right after the break.
You might need a jacket heading out the door this morning. We've got some cool temperatures. The work week forecast is ahead.
For the latest local news and weather, all you have to do is visit our website, WXXV25.com. And if you have a news tip for us, reach out to us by email at news@WXXV25.com. It's 6:12 now. That means as we head to break, a look outside. I-10 at Gaucher Van Cleve Road. Traffic activity picking up this morning in Jackson County.
You're watching WXXV News 25 with Grant, Ansley, and Chief Meteorologist Ron. WXXV News 25.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now to see who's celebrating a birthday here in South Mississippi as we start a new week. Today, we celebrate Kaylee Garrett from Long Beach. Kaylee turns 11 years old today. From all of us here at WXXV, Kaylee, we hope you have a fantastic birthday. If you would like to submit your birthday or someone else's birthday, go right now to WXXV25.com/birthday club for a chance to have your birthday mentioned on our morning newscast during our 5 and 6 a.m. shows.
And now, your Weather Authority. Sponsored by the People's Bank, where people come first.
Hello, good morning, everybody. We had a split weekend, cloud coverage, cooler temperatures Saturday, sunshine, much warmer yesterday. This morning, jacket or a sweater might be needed heading out the door. We've got some chilly numbers ranging anywhere from the mid-40s, that is 46 degrees in Poplarville, to the low 50s. Several locations in the 50s, including the warmer spots, Bay St. Louis and Biloxi. They both have 51 degrees. Now, folks, we have a drier air mass closer to the surface. Look at relative humidity. We've got some 60s, 70s, 80s, and no, I don't see any 90s in the equation. Lower humidity values with a north wind, a drier air mass closer to the surface, and the winds are coming in out of the northeast right now, 4 to 8 miles per hour. Through the course of today, this morning we'll find an easterly component, 4 to 8 miles per hour. Temperatures getting into the low and mid 60s later this morning, just before the midday time frame. And through today, Partly to mostly cloudy skies with the upper level non-rain producing clouds moving across the area. 67 degrees for the afternoon high temperature, a little bit below seasonal values with our wind switching towards the south. Now that southerly wind that is going to bring in the warmer, more humid air mass. The warmer temperatures will be felt during the day. The overnight lows, that's going to be dictated by how much moisture we have in play. Tonight, mid-40s, once again, light and variable winds overnight with just a few clouds. The clouds will clear this evening. And folks, bear in mind that we're still keeping an eye on river stage flooding, the Pearl River, including the Pascagoula Basin down through Greene County. It's not much of a problem over in Jackson County. George County, I should say, problematic. This morning's view from Bay St. Louis, the Hancock-Whitney Tower Cam atop Danby's restaurant looking towards the north and the northeast. Great visibility, not just there, but throughout the area. And even though we've got cloud coverage, folks, they're sitting at about 18 to 22,000 feet off the surface. No rain producers here in the viewing area. There is a little minor disturbance moving towards the east, and that's why we've got the increased cloud coverage. But with high pressure to the north, suppressing the atmosphere and providing for that drier air mass closer to the surface, we're not going to find any kind of precipitation. Now, the outlook as far as temperatures go, we're looking into next week. We're going to be a little bit on the cooler side next week. This week, especially the latter part of the week, we're going to be a little bit above normal. And as far as rainfall goes, this is the normal right there. We're going to be a little bit on the wetter side. And again, this is for next week. Mississippi Power extended forecast, 67 degrees for the high temperature, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Again, with those upper level non-rain producing clouds. With the south wind, we're going to find warmer temperatures beginning tomorrow overnight in the mid-40s. And look at this, we go from 46 degrees overnight through Tuesday morning. Tuesday into Wednesday morning, 56 degrees, and beginning tomorrow back into the low and mid-70s, the mid-70s towards the latter part of the work week. Rain moves back in Thursday and Friday, a 40% chance, continuing into the weekend.
Welcome back. This week on Megan Monday, our friend Megan Gray talks to South Central Fire District Chief Thomas Muffler of Stone County to talk about the contributions of volunteer firefighters in our local communities.
Megan Monday, sponsored by Gray's Furniture Galleries.
Hello everyone. This week we want to tell you about the people who are making huge contributions to their communities as volunteer firefighters across the coast, and one man in particular. Let's meet South Central Fire District Chief Thomas Muffler of Stone County, who is a founding member of the McHenry Volunteer Fire Department and has served more than 35 years.
I guess if you can throw it back to my upbringing. My dad always said if somebody needs help, you help them, regardless. Along with family, fire department, and MDOT, I stay pretty busy. You're in the middle of a birthday party and somebody's house catches on fire, my family kind of has learned to understand that, if I leave out of the birthday party, I'm going to do something very important. That, I can't do this by myself. I have to rely on other team members to help. It's a team effort. It's a family. We just recently lost one of our members around Christmas, and it kind of reaffirmed the brotherhood, sisterhood that we have. It's hard all over the United States. It's not just here, it's everywhere. They're hurting for volunteers. Most days, husband and wife have to both have a job to make ends meet to support the family. So it makes it harder for somebody to give up that time to volunteer. Aspect of volunteer versus having a career department where when you call 911, somebody's going to show up. With the volunteer aspect of it, it all depends on the time of day, the time of week, whether people are at work. We don't sit at the station. Either have a radio or pager that we carry. We also have an app on our phone. Once you get on scene, you don't really know how many come in until everybody gets there. It looks like it's going to be short on manpower, then we have to do another tone and get another department to come in and help us. Matter of fact, that was structure fires. Especially around holidays. We've had a couple here recently just around the holidays that, you get out there and you're looking at This family just lost everything, including their Christmas presents, and they have nothing to go to. It makes you feel good that you was able to be there to give them some comfort. So we try to help educate and reach out to the community as much as we can to involve them. There's driving trucks, there's pumping the trucks, there's actual firefighting, there's the medical side of it helping, there's working wrecks, helping with traffic. Then there's on the fundraising side of it, there's a job for anybody and everybody.
Wow, being a volunteer firefighter is not easy, but their services are important to the safety of the communities they serve, and we are so grateful. If you are interested in being a volunteer at your local volunteer fire department, don't hesitate to call the number on your screen. And of course, if you have an idea for Megan Monday, please email us at meganmonday@wxxv25.com.
And now, your weather authority.
Good morning, everybody. A cool start this morning. Temperatures for the most part in the mid and upper 40s. Great visibility throughout the area. It's really a nice shot this morning. East Biloxi Tyracam, J. Allen Toyota Tyracam atop the Golden Nugget looking west. Great visibility. Light is now coming up along the eastern horizon, and temperatures are in the, again, mid and upper 40s. It looks like the upper 40s north of the interstate as to where we have the mid and upper 40s here in Jackson County, and then low 50s Biloxi west into Bay St. Louis. Bay St. Louis is at 53 degrees. Light chop in protected waters today. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 3 foot seas. Lighter winds and seas tomorrow will be down to a light chop in protected waters. Yesterday we maxed out in the upper 60s to right at 70 degrees. Below seasonal this afternoon, 67 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Rain free through Wednesday, back into the 70s tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, a 40% chance, increasing to a 60% chance this weekend.
Next here on the morning show, we introduce you to today's pet TV stars. We'll be right back with that, but before we go to break, a look outside at traffic conditions in Jackson County. This is I-10 at Highway 609 near the Ocean Springs, St. Martin area. Smooth sailing, east and westbound. All right, welcome back. It's time to highlight the best fur babies here in South Mississippi for our Pet TV segment. We've got 3 great ones for you. I mean, that goes without saying.
Every morning, yeah.
Every morning. First up is Ayrton in Gulfport. Ayrton loves to wake up around 2 each morning and was adopted from the Humane Society of South Mississippi. I mean, Ayrton has a lot in common with us being early risers, you know?
Yeah, and I've got to ask, man, did they have phonetics with his name, or did you just figure that out?
Yes, they did.
Okay, because I'd be like, Ayrton? You know?
And thank you for that, Ayrton's parents.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a big help for us.
No phonetics needed. We can pronounce this perfectly fine. Bandit looks like a bandit, black and white outfit. Bandit is from Van Cleve, and his mom and dad says he's perfect at stealing your heart.
Yeah. That is fantastic. I mean, that's what you get when you get a pet, you know, when you adopt and, you know, give love and give that love to the pet as well.
Yeah, you know, it's not what you get when you adopt. It's what you get when you get a fur baby, but it's so much better to adopt.
Yeah,
so much cheaper, and those good boys and girls, they need a home. They're desperate for a home, and they're going to love you as much as a $900 fur baby that you can't afford, and number one, and they're going to, you know, they're just going to be so appreciative.
Oh, for sure. And finally, we've got Sir Charles from d'Iberville, a distinguished gent there. He's seen here enjoying the sand. Sir Charles is also a rescue and described as a fun-loving pup. And we certainly love that little smile.
Yeah,
there.
next time you say his name, you better say it's Sir Charles.
Your Excellency, Sir Charles.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if you'd like to see your pet on TV, you can sign them up at WXXV25.com/pet photos. It's an easy process, but we do have a lot of pets to get to, a lot of submissions, and we thank you all for those submissions. Just ahead here on WXXV, this guy's get your forecast first, and I'll tell you more about some local news stories after the break.
Your WXXV News 25 forecast first, powered by Mississippi Power.
Good morning, everybody. Back at it on this Monday morning. We saw a beautiful sunny day yesterday with warmer temperatures. About half the location maxed out at 70 degrees. A few thin upper level clouds, and this morning we've got mostly cloudy skies with a minor feature moving across the area. More in the way of sunshine tomorrow. Cloud coverage becomes dominant Wednesday through the weekend. This is the forecast first. WXXV News 25 continues.
Good morning, South Mississippi, and thanks for joining us for another half hour of WXXV News 25 today. The wheel of time keeps on
it keeps
turning.
going, man. There's no stopping it whatsoever. I was kind of having one of those feelings yesterday with daylight saving time and all that. It just keeps going and going, whether you're there or not. It continues. Kind of like that saying, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, if you're not there, time certainly keeps going.
Deep thoughts from Rob so far at just after 6:30 in the morning. You know, I think the same thing. I'm kind of surprised we're at March 11th, you know.
Yeah.
March is moving forward.
Yeah, next Monday is St. Patrick's Day, and I told you I was doing some paperwork earlier, and for some reason, April 19th. Dude, I have no clue why April 19th was in my head to where I made a conscious decision to type in 419 on there.
Huh.
It's the strangest thing.
The things we do sometimes.
Without even thinking about it. Especially when it's 19 hours before sunrise and we're already at work. So you got to get a little bit of leeway for that.
Exactly. I agree with you there, my friend. Well, hey, we've got some hometown hello shout outs to get to now from our Facebook page. First up, our friend Arlene Lobianco says hello to us on this Monday morning.
And Brittany Riley isn't so sure. She says good morning as well.
We thank you all for watching. If you haven't done so yet, we've got 2 more hours of shout outs to get to. So go to our WXXV Facebook page and add to the list of where you're watching us from.
Yeah, buddy, we finally have light in the area. You know, last week this time, sun was up for over an hour.
Right.
We have light in the area this morning, and sunrise is coming up at 7:06 on this first Monday of daylight saving time begins. A lot of upper level non-rain producing clouds moving across the area. Folks, look back to southeastern Louisiana, north of Baton Rouge, west of the I-55 corridor. I don't even believe that's rain falling. That's if it is falling, it's evaporating in the low levels of the atmosphere. We have a drier air mass closer to the surface, and no rain producers popping up with Mississippi Power Doppler. St. Patrick's Catholic High School bus stop forecast this morning. We have mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the mid-40s to low 50s on the way to school. 67 degrees with mostly cloudy skies continuing into this afternoon. The extended forecast is coming up.
Thanks, Rob. Let's go outside again and take a quick look at traffic conditions. This is I-10 at Highway 57, the exit there in Jackson County. You can see vehicular activity flowing smoothly east and westbound. Good sign as we continue the morning. Happening today, the rescheduled Special Olympics competitions get underway in Moss Point. The games begin at 9 o'clock this morning at Moss Point's Dantzler Stadium. Athletes will get their game on in many fun and competitive games throughout the day. The event is hosted jointly by Special Olympics Mississippi and the Moss Point School District. A heads up for Harrison County drivers, I-10 East at Minge Avenue will close tomorrow night for the construction work that continues in that area. The eastbound lanes will close at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. They'll reopen at 6 a.m. Wednesday morning. The closure was originally set for last week, but it was rescheduled due to wet weather conditions. As we've previously reported, crews have been working lately to place concrete beams and safety devices for the new overpass being built there. Also happening tomorrow night, the State of the City address in Gaucher. Remarks from Mayor Casey Vaughn begin at 6 p.m. in the Gaucher City Council chambers at City Hall. Mayor Vaughn is set to give a comprehensive overview of the city's achievements, progress, and upcoming projects. College baseball teams are hitting the diamond this week at the Shuckers Ballpark as the Hancock-Whitney Classic returns. The Mississippi State Bulldogs will be back in Biloxi this Tuesday and Wednesday. The Bulldogs will face South Alabama on Tuesday at 6 p.m., and then they face the University of New Orleans Privateers on Wednesday. First pitch for that game will start at 5 p.m. And a reminder, the Biloxi Shuckers Junior Broadcaster Program applications are still open for 2024. The program is for any aspiring broadcasters between the ages of 12 and 16. Those interested are able to call the fourth inning during select Sunday home games on the Biloxi Shuckers Radio Network and MILB.TV. Those interested would join Voice of the Shuckers, Javik Blake, during the top of the inning and lead the play-by-play in the bottom of each inning. Applicants can send a short essay, audition tapes, and contact information to jblake@biloxishuckers.com. Participants will receive a media credential and a Shuckers prize pack as well. We'll have more on WXXV's Birthday Club coming up right after the break.
Grab a sweater heading out the door. Cool temperatures this morning, but warmer flow ahead. So is the extended forecast.
A friendly reminder, for the latest local news and weather, just go to our website, WXXV25.com, And if you have a news tip for us, reach out to us by email at news@WXXV25.com.
You're watching WXXV News 25 with and Slade and chief meteorologist Ron. WXXV News 25.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're just joining us this morning, it's time to see who's celebrating a birthday here in South Mississippi as we start this new week. Today, we celebrate Kaylee Garrett from Long Beach. Kaylee turns 11 years old today. From all of us here at WXXV, Kaylee, we hope you have the best birthday ever. Now, if you would like to submit your birthday or someone else's birthday, go right now to WXXV25.com/birthday club for a chance to have your birthday mentioned on our morning newscast during our 5 and 6 a.m. shows.
And now, your Weather Authority. Sponsored by the People's Bank, where people come first.
Good morning, everybody. It's 19 minutes before 7 a.m. Sunrise is, well, it's at 7:09 this morning instead of doing the math. Temperatures north of the interstate in the upper 40s. Mid and upper 40s over in Jackson County. Otherwise, Biloxi west through Bay St. Louis, the 50s, with Bay St. Louis the warmest spot reporting 53 degrees. Relative humidity, this is rather low, folks. We've got multiple locations in the 60s, 70s, and 80% range. Dry air flow coming in out of the northeast, a less humid air mass. There is a minor feature in the mid and upper levels moving northeast, but at the surface, that northeasterly wind coming in from the northeast, rather, I should say. This morning, we're going to find temperatures warming into the low and mid 60s. This is going to be just before the midday time frame. A good bit of cloud coverage throughout the region will continue. Dominantly partly cloudy, but about half the locations, half the times too, we'll find mostly cloudy skies. East wind at 4 to 8 miles per hour this morning. More of a southerly wind this afternoon at 5 to 10. We'll max out at 67 degrees, a couple degrees below seasonal norms. And then tonight back into the mid 40s. The minor feature moving across the region, that is going to be well off to the northeast by this evening. We'll find clear skies overnight with light and variable winds through tomorrow morning. And as a heads up, we're still watching the Pearl River Basin and including the Pascagoula River Basin from Greene down to George County. Doesn't seem problematic over in Jackson County. So just heads up about that, folks, especially you residents on the river basin or living on the river. Here's the view this morning. This is nautical twilight before sunrise, which is again at 7:09 this morning. This beautiful picturesque shot from downtown Gulfport brought to us by our friends at Hancock Whitney. Great visibility through the area. Upper level non-rain producing clouds moving towards the northeast. There is a little weakness moving east across the area, but high pressure along the lower Tennessee Valley area will be the main factor shaping the forecast. That minor disturbance will cut northeast through today. By this evening, well off to the northeast. The clouds will thin. We'll be under clear skies tonight, including the majority of time through tomorrow. Wednesday, clouds move back in. The rain will stay west, but then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to see minor features drifting off towards the east. That's going to keep us under rain chances through the weekend. And into next week, temperatures are going to drop a bit below seasonal values. Right now below seasonal, but tomorrow and through the weekend, we're going to find above seasonal values, dropping below seasonal next week as well. And as far as the rain potential goes next week, pretty much the normal circumstances for this time of the year. Here's my Mississippi Power extended forecast. Again, the only day in the 60s with the extended 67 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy skies. 70 and sunny tomorrow, low and mid 70s through the weekend. 40% chance for thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, 60% this weekend.
After the break, we check in with Jane King for the Morning Business Report. Stay tuned, South Mississippi. Welcome back. Etiquette training is increasingly in demand, and more women are working now than pre-COVID. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with those stories and much more in today's Morning Business Report.
Good morning. The share of women in the global workforce has not just rebounded from COVID, it's reaching new heights. Moody's reports that American women have seen a slower rise than other countries to 73% in the workforce from over 72%, largely due to a lack of affordable child care and paid leave. The tight labor market, one of the reasons behind the surge. Earnings this week will look at the shoppers hit hardest by inflation. Dollar Tree reports results on Wednesday and Dollar General on Thursday. Also, reports on consumer and producer prices, both measures of inflation, will be out later this week. Well, stocks were down Friday. Red-hot AI stocks turned lower. The Dow had its worst week since October. And Pfizer is betting on cancer drugs to help it regain its footing after the rapid decline of its COVID business. The pharmaceutical giant's been trying to shore up investor sentiment after its shares fell more than 40% last year. And as workers head back to the office, some are in need of a refresher course in work etiquette. CNN reports workplace etiquette classes are in demand. This type of training is seen as particularly important for Gen Z workers who may be starting their careers. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King with your Morning Business Report.
And now, your weather authority.
Good morning, everybody. We're about 17 minutes away from official sunrise at a little bit after 7 this morning, but check out this beautiful tower cam shot looking towards the eastern horizon. First of all, obviously the sun is a little further north towards the easterly radial. Blanket of clouds overhead, mostly cloudy skies, which will continue through the course of today, varying at times between partly and mostly cloudy. Temperatures anywhere from 46 degrees in Poplarville to 51. That's in Bay St. Louis, including Biloxi, and a moderate chop in protected waters through today. Northeast to 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 3 foot seas. Lighter winds and seas tomorrow. We will be down to a light chop in protected waters. Yesterday, anywhere from 68 to 70 degrees for the afternoon high temperature. Right at seasonal values, a bit below today with a minor feature moving across the region. 67 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy. Sunny skies tomorrow, back into the 70s through the weekend. Showers and thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, 40%, 60% Saturday and Sunday.
After the break, an ALS treatment drug may be pulled from the market after failing a recent test. What you need to know after the break. But before that, let's go take a look outside at traffic conditions. This is a local view of Highway 90 at Chico Road in the flagship city, Pascagoula. Steady flow of traffic there this morning. In today's Medical Minute, we take a look at a drug that is used in treating ALS.
Medical Minute brought to you by Alpha Care Urgent Care, changing the way healthcare is delivered on the coast.
A drug to treat ALS may be pulled from the market. The manufacturer of Relivrio says the drug failed a large clinical trial. Amylyx Pharmaceuticals says after 48 weeks, the medication did not show significant improvement for ALS patients' ability to breathe, swallow, or speak. It also did not improve patient-reported quality of life, overall survival, or respiratory function. The company says for now, Relivrio is still available, but it has stopped promoting the drug. About 30,000 people in the U.S. suffer from ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Meanwhile, a health concern in Northern California. A medical facility in Sacramento is trying to contact about 300 people who were possibly exposed to measles. Doctors at UC Davis Health say a child was treated for the highly contagious disease back on March 5th. Officials say the child had traveled abroad and was evaluated at the hospital's emergency room between noon and 5 p.m. on the 5th. Officials say people at the medical facility not vaccinated against measles or who are unsure of their vaccination status are at risk of getting the disease between 1 to 3 weeks after being exposed. Public health officials say they've also seen an increase in measles cases in recent years. The Centers for Disease Control says so far there's been 45 cases in 17 states since the beginning of the year. The Biden administration is calling on insurance companies to help out weeks after hackers launched a cyber attack on a major healthcare system. The attack on Change Healthcare is impacting how healthcare providers are paid. This includes hospitals, doctors, pharmacists, and other providers across the country. Change Healthcare is a part of United Health Group, and it processes 15 billion healthcare transactions each year. On Sunday, Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra and Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su released a letter to healthcare leaders. They're urging private insurers to make advance payments to healthcare providers to ensure there is not a disruption in service. A children's product company is recalling about 63,000 infant swings due to a suffocation risk. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the Jewel Baby Nova baby infant swing has an incline greater than 10 degrees, which violates federal safety regulations. The recalled swings were manufactured from June 2022 to September 2023 and were sold online and at Walmart. There have been no injuries or deaths reported. The CPSC says consumers should stop using the infant swings and contact Jewel Baby for a free repair kit. Well, coming up, we're continuing our Pet TV series, introducing you to some of our viewers' furry friends. We'll be right back with that. Welcome back. For the final time this morning, we're highlighting the best fur babies here in South Mississippi for our Pet TV segment. So let's get to it. First up, we've got Ayrton in Gulfport. Now, this guy loves to wake up around 2 each morning. He was adopted from the Humane Society of South Mississippi. I'm sure Mom and Dad love the early wake-up call.
Yeah,
They love it so much they mention it.
It doesn't matter what time Ayrton wakes up. You get up, you give that sweet boy whatever he wants, whether it's 7 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, or after midnight. He's a good boy. He deserves it.
That's right. I mean, look at that face. I mean, you can't get mad at that.
He looks nice and content.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up next from Van Cleve, we have Bandit, and Bandit's parent says he knows exactly how to steal your heart. I don't know if it's the look or the pose, or if it's a combination of the look and the pose, but Bandit sure is a cutie. I like him.
I like him too. I like this guy as well, Sir Charles from d'Iberville, seen here enjoying the sand. You know, that's got to be something that a lot of coast pups love, the sand.
Yeah, heading out to the beach and, you know, enjoying a walk there. I hope they're human mom and dads take them out there along the beach. But as a reminder, folks, keep in mind that, you know, we're going to be coming up on the hot time of the year. Please don't walk your fur babies outside in the middle of the day when it's 95 degrees, because that asphalt on
those
their
paws,
bare feet,
you know.
Yeah, and they get burned. They get really badly burned. It's about 120 on the asphalt, so act accordingly.
Yes.
You know, plan accordingly. Take care of them.
Great reminder for sure for pet owners. Thanks for introducing us to these fur babies, and thanks for joining us. We've got 2 more hours coming up on Fox.